We're going to hear from our third team, ATSU's Virtual Osteopathic Clinic. There's a patient here somewhere, I know that. This is the kind of OMM I like. You can just imagine. The team members, Marvin Dang, Uday Gulati, the SOMA OMS 2 students. Their faculty mentor is Dr. Laura Grady. Is Laura here? She's not here tonight. In spirit. In spirit. Okay. Well, Laura, we're thinking of you in this virtual environment. Please make your pitch. You got 10 minutes.
Uday, you ready?
Yes, sir. Marvin, are you ready?
Yup. Sparks, we hope you're ready.
Hi, I'm Uday.
Hi, I'm Marvin.
And we're two second-year ATSU osteopathic medical students flying in from Brooklyn, New York.
To present to you
ATSU's Virtual Osteopathic Clinic. So to get started, I want to tell you about the most rewarding experience I've had in medical school so far. At our CHC out in Brooklyn, New York, a select few students have had the chance to practice OMM, or osteopathic manipulative medicine, on real patients. And this has been so rewarding because it's increased the confidence for us to perform OMM on real patients, not just at our family health centers, but at all our other rotations as well. And it's been given us a lot more confidence than other classmates who are limited to practicing just on fellow classmates.
In addition, OMT makes a world of difference to our patients as well. Just last week, our administrative advisor, assistant, Wendy Vasquez, shared with us a very touching story about how OMT has affected her and her family's lives. This is Wendy.
So my father was having a lot of pain due to sciatic pain that he had injured in like 1985. He has 3 herniated discs and he was suffering for a long time, and it just became normal to have pain in his life. About 2 years ago, the pain was so much that he couldn't do small things like go walking or cook without the pain being so severe. And he basically started to give up on life. It dawned on me that I had students who were learning osteopathic manipulations, and they could possibly be a way of helping out my father. And with her magic fingers, like I like to say, did some treatment, and with physical therapy, he healed. And now he can dance, and he can look forward to life, and now he's looking forward to being a grandpa. And you know, she gave him some more years. To me, DO doctors were miracle workers.
Thank you, Wendy, for sharing that personal story with us.
So in order to understand how much practice students were getting with real patients, not just on each other, we did a survey with second-year class just last week. So the first question I asked them is if they felt like they were getting enough clinical OMT exposure, to which 80% said no. After that, we followed that up by asking them if they would take advantage of increased clinical OMT opportunities, to which 84% said yes. And finally, we wanted to know if increasing clinical OMT exposure would increase their confidence in performing OMT during their rotations, residencies, even their future clinical practices. And a staggering 90% said yes.
So clearly, students want to practice OMM on real patients, but they just aren't getting enough opportunities to do so. And that is why today we are bringing you ATSU's Virtual Osteopathic Clinic. This program is a 3-phase solution. The first phase is we want to open a free student-run osteopathic medical clinic in our underserved community, starting with Brooklyn, New York. And phase two, we want to address the shortage of practicing DO physicians available to oversee these students practicing OMM in these clinics by bringing a unique technology that has taken the healthcare field by storm. Sparks, prepare to be wowed, because we're bringing you Google Glass. Google Glass is a simple eyepiece with a small head-mounted display, kind of like a smartphone in the corner of your eye. And what you can do is you can connect with someone over video chat and allow them to see exactly what you are seeing, as if they were seeing it from your own eyes. For example, in the ER, an ER physician can see a patient with a possible stroke and ask them to perform a specific physical exam, and a neurologist at another floor or another hospital can watch that physical exam and provide immediate instructions on the next steps to maximize patient safety. And in order to demonstrate how we're going to use Google Glass in our clinic, I'd like to invite a patient volunteer. Now pretend I'm a student, osteopathic clinic, and Dr. Dang is my attending physician at another floor or another office. Okay, Dr. Dang, I'm seeing this patient and I've done the history and physical, and she has left leg pain with a tight piriformis muscle. I'd like to treat it. I'd like to treat the internal rotation, the limited range of motion in her piriformis by doing a muscle energy technique.
Okay, Uday, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take her into internal rotation.
Uday, hold up for 1 second. So when you push your leg that way, you're actually externally rotating a leg. I want you to pull it towards you to induce internal rotation.
Dr. Dang, thank you for correcting that mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and take it into internal rotation.
Good.
And I'm going to continue with the rest of the treatment.
Good job, Uday.
Thank you, volunteer. So as you can see, the goal of Google Glass is to address three things. One, maximize patient safety, minimize liability, and to increase the number of patients one physician can see in the same amount of time by simply allowing students, by simply switching off between students as they're ready to present through the Google Glass module.
Now, OMT is a very tactile art. You can't just look at a patient and know what the student's saying is true. But the physician has to be able to trust what the student's saying is correct. So how we're going to do that is that we're going to gamify the certification module. So second-year students go into your second year at ATSU completely proficient in what we call the top 10 osteopathic techniques. These techniques are safe, simple, effective, and they cover a wide range of dysfunctions. And this will be the basis of our certification. And as students demonstrate increased competency in more advanced techniques, they'll accrue a number of badges to recognize exactly what they've achieved.
So that is ATSU's Virtual Osteopathic Clinic, a three-phase solution, providing a necessary service in underserved communities, bringing a unique technology to maximize patient safety and minimize liability, and incentivizing students to maximize their skill sets in OMM by gamifying our education.
So where are we at now? In the past month, we've conducted extensive market research on student-run free osteopathic clinics, courtesy of our friends over at Touro University in California. We've also found we are very close to finalizing our clinical site to host our project, pending NYU approval. And finally, we found attending physicians to oversee our program. In the next month, we are aiming to build a certification module with help from faculty over at Lutheran, as well as right over here in Mesa. And by summertime, our goal is to open the clinic up and recruit the patients.
And finally, in fall 2017, we're going to transition the attending physicians out from the main clinical room into an adjacent room and start trial testing the use of Google Glass. With this, we're going to incorporate an IRB-approved research study to help demonstrate that we can still maximize patient safety and improve patient outcomes through the use of Google Glass. And we're going to measure this by analyzing treatment outcomes and patient satisfaction surveys. And finally, that is going to help achieve our real goal, our vision. It's not just to open one clinic. We want to open this virtual osteopathic clinic at all 11 CHCs across the country. And that's going to help make our vision come true, to make ATSU the premier osteopathic institution for OMM education. ATSU prides itself on using innovative technologies to advance medical education. It prides itself on serving the underserved by putting medical students in underserved areas and by helping maximize a medical student's ability to be an outstanding physician.
Before we close, we just want to leave you a message for the rest of our team.
Okay, I support this program. Go!
Yo apoyo este programa con todo mi corazón porque lo necesitamos.
I am definitely all for having more opportunities for students through OMM.
We are so excited and we believe.
Okay, this is amazing. This is going to happen, and this is going to be the best osteopathic trainers in the entire world.
We support this clinic. We support this clinic. Clark, how about you?
Give it up! Hey, woo! Bravo! Well done. You know, I gotta say, I got a little, but the only flaw. Brooklyn, not Queens?
I'm from Brooklyn.
I know, I'm a Queens boy. That's my own prize. But anyway, outstanding. Well done. Well thought of. I tell you, judges, got a question from Dr. Wendell.
I love the innovation. It's great. Can I get the template, the Prezi template? I'd like to use that.
It's really pretty, huh? We definitely can.
Great presentation. Very, nice and tight. My first question, how do you feel about using Google Glass, a platform that may not be around in a year? And why not go with something cheaper like a GoPro camera?
Well, the biggest thing with Google Glass is it's already a proven solution in healthcare. Google Glass was withdrawn from using it for consumer use because there were more applications for enterprise use. Google is only allowing Glass to be used with enterprises that can use it for industrial applications, and the most popular one today is healthcare. There are over 13 companies that are using Google Glass right now, including medical schools such as UC Irvine to improve a student's proficiency in doing histories and physicals. And Google Glass allows you to build apps that GoPro cannot. So you can ensure that if you're doing more advanced things, such as incorporating a medical record, everything is HIPAA compliant and incorporates with existing medical records.
Speaking of that, so we actually have a software engineer we're talking to right now. 5 years experience working with a virus company, 1 year of experience with a tech startup, and he's on the boat with us. He's within the next 3 months, he's working on making the app for the Google Glass.
Sweet. Another question, Norman?
So the idea is that the supervision would be outside the room, and you were talking about next door, but it occurred to me, is it possible if the physician is licensed that the instruction might come from Mesa out to the various sites, or does it have to be somebody that actually is licensed in that state in order to provide the supervision?
So laws differ from state to state. So New York law is different from Mesa law. But the idea is that we'd be able to expand this platform to every single CHC in the ATSU system. And the DO doctors within each CHC would be able to supervise based on their under their state and supervise the students in that various regions.
And what the Mesa faculty, the OMM directors at the Mesa faculty want to do is they want to utilize the same technology to help advance the CHC, the various doctors and attendings and RDMEs at the various CHCs to increase their OMM repertoire so they can help better educate us during these clinics.
Great. Bobby?
You mentioned 12 sites eventually. What were those sites? Were they?
11.
Did you say CHC? 11. What are those facilities?
So we have 11 community health centers right now in the East Coast. There's Brooklyn, New York. There's one in Washington, D.C. There's one in South Carolina. And then going to the Midwest, there's Ohio. There's Chicago. There's going to the West Coast, there's Visalia. There's 3 sites in Arizona, Flagstaff, Phoenix, and Tucson.
Washington,
yeah. And then one in Seattle and Washington.
So I just want to make sure I understand something. So for each site that this is happening, the student has an evaluator on site. Is that correct?
Initially, yes. Our goal is to address the shortage of practicing DO physicians available to monitor these students. That's why it's so hard to open these clinics. Initially, the physician would have to be on site to prove that this thing works. The research study would help prove that, that even if the physician isn't on site, say they're at another hospital or at home, that they can still monitor these students because the treatments are pretty basic but still very helpful.
So the cost of this is just really equipment-based?
It's the initial cost. For example, we just want to start off with 2 Google Glass, and that's $1,000 each from the people that we've talked to because it's an enterprise, it's priced at an enterprise model. And we already have the OMM tables. We already have the room that's being provided for free because it's being unused by NYU.
Right. Thank you.
Great. Well done. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, Marvin, Uday, awesome job. Awesome, fabulous. Yeah, it's nice to see you guys back on campus. Question though, you didn't ask for your full $5,000. How are you going to address covering marketing expenses and patient education regarding OMT?
So we've been talking to our faculty, and we're all on board with this idea. And either way, we're going to apply for grants. We're going to apply for grants to push this project forward.
Great.
Yeah, with the initial grant money, we can invest that into the certification app, patient education, all of that.
We want to build out this education module, and that's going to take a lot more than $5,000. Initially, it's going to apply only to this clinic and our OMM education. But our goal is that if this kind of approach works in medical education, then we can build this out further to scale this model at the other CHCs to help recruit patients to build out this clinic even more. And
good. We only have 10, 15 seconds.
Real quickly, how do you plan to propagate this to the next generation of students? I mean, it's great that you're enthusiastic. We'd like to see it keep on going. Who's going to do that?
Well, the goal of this program, the way we're building it, especially the use of Google Glass, is to make this clinic sustainable. We understand that running a free clinic takes costs, especially with physicians where they want to volunteer their time and we want to make sure that for them it's not too difficult. This clinic is not going to go away. We're going to put this clinic because it's a necessary program in an underserved area. So every year as students come in, they get to be part of this program from year two to year 4.
Great.
And every year as the next class comes in, they'll be active in this clinic as well.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good job. Wonderful.